Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here in the What a Juice channel, and welcome back to another part, the second part in the Zero overall rebuild saga. That is right. Last time we did this, it was part 1. We took 5 years to try to rebuild a team from absolute garbage, 0 overalls. Every player was a 0 overall, to an eventual Super Bowl champion. I went 5 years in that and got very, very close. At the very end of 5th year, we were starting to see the signs that this team was going to eventually become like a very good team. And so at the end of that episode, I decided, you know what? I think I'll make this a part 1 and I'll make it into a part 2. We'll go 5 more years and we'll see if that realization, if that belief that this team was on track to go even further and become a Super Bowl champion is possible. We're going to go 5 more years and that'll probably be it. I don't think there'll be a third part in this rebuild, but I think that if we go 5 more seasons, we'll be on track to be a Super Bowl champion. So here is part 2 of the 0 overall rebuild. I hope you guys go and enjoy. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get started. Picking up right where we left off at the end of the last part, it is the off season of year number 5. We have a lot of cap space. We have a very good team. We went from complete zeros on the offense, defense, and overall to now 87s across the board. So I'm feeling very confident in this team. But just to kind of refresh myself on what this team is looking like and what happened in the past episode. So we are now into season number 5 and the season recap. The Cowboys beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We are obviously the Chicago Bears. Did I change the playbook at all? Let me quickly check that. Did I take a look and change the playbook? Or are we still running Chicago Bears? We are running... Okay, we're running Chiefs and 49ers. Very interesting. I will change the offensive schemes once we get into the first season. Very interesting. So, a little bit of a refresher if you have forgotten what the team looked like at the end of the last part. This is what the offense and defense are looking like. On offense, we look very good. And you can see the promise that I saw in this team and why I thought, oh, maybe we'll be pretty good a couple years down the line. So we've got Huffman, who is our quarterback, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Tony Pollard. The offensive line looks pretty good. We got Albert O as our tight end. On defense, we've got a pretty good defensive line with Shields, Dexter Lawrence, Montez Sweat, and Gary. Then we've got Sauce Gardner, Cam Dantzler. We've got Barden. I think it's Keith Barden. We've also got Owens. The cornerback room is very, very talented. And then we've got Andrew Booth. We've got Sears and Kyle Hamilton, and then linebackers, Derwin James, JoJo. Oh, this is JoJo Evans. I remember JoJo Evans. I knew that he was somewhere on one of my series, and it's the 0 overall rebuild. This dude was like a 7th round pick that the CPU drafted, and he turns out to be like one of the best players that I've ever seen, at least in my series that I've done. So JoJo Evans is there. I like this team. We got a lot of money. I don't know what the free agent class is going to be like. I don't know what the draft class is going to be like. I don't remember anything. So let's move on to the re-sign period. I don't really know who needs a new contract. I hope it's not a lot of really talented, important pieces, because then that's going to be a lot of our cap space just gone. So I hope that's not the case. I also want to take a look at what our draft picks are. I don't even know what our draft picks are. So if we take a look at the players that are ready to negotiate, please don't be anybody that is very notable that wants a lot of money. Don't let it happen. Derwin James, Montez Sweat, Luke Shields, Dexter Lawrence, JoJo. Okay, so it's basically everybody on the team. Okay, so we got to bring back these guys. That's definitely priority number 1. Luckily, Derwin James wants to come back, so that's awesome. He does want to come back, and I think what we'll do is, if we can get another outside linebacker that's really, really good, we'll just move Derwin James back to safety. Is probably the best option. But we'll give Derwin a 4-year contract, offer him about $13 million, $10.5 million, see what he says to that. He's happy to come back. So Derwin James is returning. Awesome. Montez Sweat is 30 years old, but I do want to bring him back, and he wants to be here as well. So I might be able to cut it down to $10 million, and then $10 million there, and he's coming back perfect. So 3 years left for Montez Sweat. We are going to have to pay Montez one more time, although maybe not. Maybe we trade him at that point. So Luke Shields, I do want to bring back Luke, and if we can get him on a 5-year deal and offer him about that, he would like to play for a new team next year. So we'll probably have to franchise tag Luke Shields. That's not good. What does he want? What's his I don't know if I can see his needs or his motivations. He wants to play for a historic winner, and we don't have a player that has the franchise QB tag for Dexter Lawrence. Well, I'm sorry, Dexter. Sucks to suck, doesn't it? Why don't you just come back here? We'll offer you a fat bag, and you just come back here and you play out the rest of this rebuild. That'll be awesome. He's happy to come back. So we paid Dexter Lawrence. We got to pay JoJo. That's just a guarantee. I know JoJo doesn't want to be here, but JoJo's going to be here. So I will overpay for JoJo because I think he's that good. So I will give him about $7 million, and we will bump this salary up, this bonus up as well, and we'll give him like 6.5. How does he think about that? He's excited to come back. Thank you, JoJo, for coming back. We are spending a ton of money. Albert O probably should bring back as well, and he also wants a nice little contract, 5-year deal. We'll give him about $4.5 million. I know he doesn't want to be here at all, but if we give him like a $6 million bonus, he's happy to come back. So awesome. We are getting everybody except for Luke Shields, but we can offer him a new contract, or we can offer him a salary franchise tag is what I was trying to think of. Connor Williams wants to be here, so we can kind of get away with a little bit less money, and he's coming back. So we got another corner. Awesome. Then we've got Josh Hardesty, who we probably should bring back as well. And we'll offer him about 6.5 and 6. And he says he wants to play for a new team next year. Okay. Not good. So then the next guy is AJ Beck. He's the final guy. So if we offer him a 3-year deal and we give him like $4 million and then $5 million bonus, what's he say to that? He would like to play for a new team next year. So these guys are being very stingy on what they want to do. So we could be losing our left guard and our center. That's not awesome. I am going to franchise tag Luke Shields for $18.8 million. That's just a guarantee. So we are probably going to lose these two guys, which kind of sucks. But we can always find better offensive linemen in the draft or in free agency and stuff. So it's not a huge deal. They're not good enough overall, high enough overall for me to be so upset that we're going to lose them. If we go to the lineup, are they the starters? Yeah, they're the starting center and the starting left guard. So I bet that I could probably trade them for just as good replacements. Let me take a look at do they have any penalty if I trade them? If we go to the team salaries, do they have any type of penalty? So let's go to the players that are not under contract, and we find Beck. His penalty is $1 million, and Hardesty's is $310. That's not bad at all. We can eat that happily. So let's trade those two players for replacements at those positions, and then we can go into free agency with a good amount of money and see what's available. Maybe there won't be anybody available. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Right off the bat, the Bengals need a left guard, so that's pretty good, but they wouldn't have a left guard that would be good replacement, obviously. So let's take a look at left guards around the league and see if there's a good replacement for good old-fashioned Andrew Beck. I think it's Andrew Beck, isn't it? Gentry, Tremont Murray, Joe Tooney, Quentin Nelson would obviously be super cool. What do they value Quentin Nelson at? I never try to trade for him because he's just super hard to get. Okay, they value him very heavily. I didn't mean to take him out. They value him very heavily. No surprise. I mean, he's freaking Quentin Nelson, one of the greatest offensive linemen of this generation. Zach Lamb, is he under contract on a rookie deal or something? Does he have a rookie deal or does he have a new contract? Okay, he's got a rookie deal. Okay. We probably should stay away from him. There's Tyler Smith, David Edwards, Landon Dickerson, Jalen Mayfield. There's some pretty good options here that are around the same kind of value as what we'd be looking for with Andrew Beck. I just don't know where to go, really. Kendrick Green, Ben Powers, Casey Nelson, Damian Lewis. There's Kenyon Green. We have Kenyon Green in our Texans 10-year rebuild. What's his contract look like? He's got 1 year left. Okay, so I want to stick away with that. I want to stick away from guys that have 1 year left on their deal. Preferably just because it would mean easier for us to trade for, and like not have to re-sign. Doug Craig has 1 year left on his deal, but I don't really want him anyway. Amari Samuel, Kevin Dotson, Ramon Gentry's probably the same. Tremont Murray's probably on his rookie deal. That's what it looks like. At least it looks like he just got drafted this year. So if we go, yeah, he's on his rookie contract. So that might be actually pretty useful for us if we could get him on a rookie contract. And then we might be able to get somebody else. Maybe we could go for Devin Bush too. What kind of value is that? Okay. We're probably pushing the limits a little bit with Devin Bush. We don't necessarily need him, but it would be awesome to have. We don't have a first-round pick. I forgot about that. Who did we trade that to? I don't remember. But what about if I give you a 4th rounder? How do you like that? They like it a little bit, not too much, but they like it a little bit. What about if I give you my 3rd rounder? Okay, maybe I'm pushing it a little too much with the Devin Bush stuff. Yeah, I don't really want to give up any picks next year. So let's cool down on the Devin Bush. We'll go. Ooh, I thought they would accept that. I thought they would accept that straight up. But if I give them a 5th, they should accept it, and they do. So we trade down in a little bit of overall, but we get a guy who's on a rookie contract who probably is going to end up being just as good as Beck. And then we need to trade our center, Hardesty. So let's see what we got here. Oh, they gave Bosa a new portrait. That's good. Let's take a look around the league for some centers. Centers that are good and priced affordably. Don't want to go for anybody that's crazy expensive. Quincy Mitchell, Frank Ragnow, Josh Myers, Dalton Beckham, Eli Heck. Eli Heck's cap hit, is he had to have gotten a new contract. Yeah, he's got to be on a new contract. He is. He's on his new deal. Let's see what we can do with this. They almost said yes. That is perfect, because then if we throw in, oh, I don't know, maybe somebody that they're intrigued by, like Colby Parkinson, who is also in need of a new contract that we just don't want to give him. That almost got it done. But now if we throw in a draft pick, it will surely get it done. Surely. I could also try to throw them Teddy Bridgewater, but I don't think that's going to get it done. How about this? That package does do it. So we got a new center and a new left guard. And we got rid of Colby Parkinson. That is awesome. I like that. And that is probably everything that we're going to do in the re-sign period. We will simulate to free agency. Maybe there's going to be some good players in free agency. We still have a good amount of money available, so it's not like we can't do anything. Still got a good amount of money. Free agency. Who's on the table? Who is on the table? Who is on the table? Jeffrey Simmons is the highest overall player, but he is 30 years old and doesn't have any interest in us. Teron Armstead's 36. L'Jarius Sneed wants to be here. So does Jonah Williams. Okay, I'm intrigued. Very intrigued by Jonah Williams. Kareem Hunt. Harold Landry. Okay. Tyler Boyd. Darnell Savage. Kaiser White. Who's this guy? Nick Wiley. Ooh. Superstar. 26 years old. I'm very intrigued by him. Okay, so Hold up. Let's figure out a plan first before we just go spending willy-nilly. Let's figure out a plan here. So what do we need? On offense, we could probably use... Let's see. Do we need Jonah Williams? He was a pretty high overall. We could play him at right tackle. I wouldn't hate that. That'd be pretty good. We could use another receiver, because right now we just have Brandon Ayuk and Garrett Wilson. So we could use a third receiver. Another offensive lineman would be good. We don't really need that Nick Wiley guy because we don't really have a spot for him here. Corner's fine. We don't have to worry about corner. We're pretty good at linebacker too. I mean, I like the linebackers that we have. Okay, so, I mean, we definitely need to get another receiver. That's definitely priority. Top priority is to get a third receiver. And Mike Evans is on the list, but I don't really know if Mike Evans is a good third receiver or not. He might be. I don't really know if he's where we need to go. So corner we don't need. Jonah Williams at 85 is better than what we have right now. 84 Harold Landry doesn't... He's not better... He's not that much better than Isaiah Simmons or whatever else we have. Tyler Boyd at 32 years old. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Jaleel Bean, wasn't he on our team? I feel like we drafted him. That name sounds familiar. Let's go in on Jonah Williams. I think that'd be a very good pickup. So we'll offer him that contract. He should accept it. He should like it a lot. And we are ahead of the Commanders. That's awesome. And then let's go take a look at the wide receivers. So we've got Mike Evans, Tyler Boyd, Laviska Shenault, Alex Howard. There's not really anybody else here that is like crazy good. Although I do like Tutu Atwell, especially because he's pretty fast. But Romeo Doubs is faster. Let's offer... We got to battle a lot of people for Tyler Boyd, but he wants to be here. So if we could offer Tyler Boyd a nice little contract, maybe he'll accept it. Maybe that'll put us at the top of the list for Tyler. We're battling with a few teams. I don't know if we'll get him or not. I'll also throw an offer at Romeo Doubs just because I like him. And he wants to be here. And having a fourth receiver wouldn't hurt to give our quarterback a little bit of variety to throw to. Speaking of that, we probably could use a backup quarterback. Russell Wilson's here. Man, we'll be fine. We'll be fine with what we have. So we have 2 more negotiations to use. I think I want to use one on... I kind of want to use one on this guy, Nick Wiley. I mean, he's just crazy young and good. The only problem is he doesn't want to be here. So how about that? What about if we go to my targeted list? Jonah Williams, Tyler Boyd, Nick Wiley, and Romeo Doubs. I don't think we'll get Boyd or Wiley, but we can try it. Here's the evaluation thing. Everybody signed contracts. What did we do? We only got Romeo? Wow. Jonah signed with the Commanders, who were 1 bar lower than us. Tyler Boyd signed with the Patriots. That's not shocking. And then Nick Wiley signed with the Ravens. Wow. That's shocking to me that we didn't get any of the guys. Especially Jonah Williams. I thought for sure that we'd get Jonah. We were like a full bar ahead of the Commanders, and he still chose to sign with the Commanders. That's pretty crazy. I didn't see that coming at all. That shocks me. That does shock me I don't really think that there's anybody else here that we need. I think we just go into the draft, save the rest of the money that we have, that we didn't pay those other guys, and move on, because that's crazy. That's pretty crazy. It's a good thing that we traded that left guard and that center for replacements. But that is really crazy. Well, we got our third receiver, which is Romeo Doubs. Maybe he'll turn out to be something. Probably won't. Especially with normal development. It's so hard for receivers in this game when you're just simulating to develop when they have normal development. It's just so difficult for them, but maybe it can happen for him if he gets a lot of production from our quarterback. Who knows? Who really knows? 5th-year options. Who needs a 5th-year contract? Scott Huffman, the quarterback. Okay. Yeah, I'll pick up his 5th-year option. Why not? Why not? It could come in handy. And then we keep moving on to free agency recap. We got mock draft number 5, where we got to figure out who we're drafting. I don't even know what this draft class looks like. Who are we drafting? Who are we drafting? Mock draft number 5. Who's at the top? Who is at the top of the board? We've got DeMarcus Poole. Okay. Very interesting top of the board. Where do we pick? We pick at no pick, because that's right. We don't have a 1st-round pick. I forgot about that. We don't pick until the 3rd round. I don't think so. I forgot. So this offseason is probably just going to be a little bit of a wash. So we don't even need to use. Actually, we probably do need to use our private workouts on some later round guys just to make sure that we know a little bit more about them. So let's go figure out what we could use, which could be linebackers. Definitely could use some linebackers. This guy looks pretty interesting. Caleb Aradovich. Why don't we use one on... Let's use one on Jay McDonald. We'll use one on Caleb Aradovich. And we'll use one on Oscar Villa. Sure. Perfecto. Those 3 guys could end up being pretty good. You never know. We'd always use more linebacker. You can never have too many linebackers. Advance to the draft. Simulate to our next pick. And see if any of those 3 guys are still available. I would guess not. But you never know. Maybe somebody passes up on them. First overall pick is the Arizona Cardinals. They take DeMarcus Poole. All right, good for him. Skip to next user pick. All the way into the 3rd round. And in the back half of the 3rd round as well. Okay. Who's on the board? We're ready to go. We are ready to go. Is anybody that we scouted still available? Oscar Villa is available. And the middle linebacker is not. So they both got taken. So why not draft Oscar Villa? Sure. He is normal development, not that good of a player, but we scouted him, so I mean, you might as well. I think I'll just let the CPU handle the rest. We don't have that many picks anyway. I think we only have a 4 and a 7. So let's move on to the actual start of the simulation of the video. This was just finishing the year 5 off season. So we haven't even technically started the freaking video yet. Let's go to draft recap, see what's the overall of our guys that we took. Well, not the one guy that I took. We've got a 63, a 68, and a 67. Not shocking by any means. But how was the draft class as a whole? Was it something that we shouldn't have missed out on? It was not really. There's a running back that is an 83 overall, but other than that, everybody was kind of mid. So this was not that good of a draft class, which is awesome because we didn't really miss out on too much. And now we start the good old-fashioned second episode. Because now we can start simulating year 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 6, actually, we should probably only go 5 seasons, right? So 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. That's 5 seasons. Okay. I did my math wrong. But you know what the team looks like. I'm going to simulate to the end of the year, and I will see you guys at the playoffs. Maybe we'll be a part. Maybe we won't. I'll see you then. So at the end of year 6, we make the playoffs as a wild card team. We won the division, and we are 10-7, the exact same record that we had at the end of year 5. So we're at least consistent. We are at least consistent. That is a good thing to have, is consistency. So let's take a look at the stats and figure out how we finished 10-7. Scott Huffman, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Good year. Good year for Scott. Very good. Tony Pollard, see, the run game in the Kansas City playbook is just not necessarily that valuable. So that's why having not an awesome running back wouldn't really matter too much. So Tony Pollard with 700 yards and 12 touchdowns is very good production for the playbook that we're in. Brandon Ayuk had 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson had a really good season with 900 yards and 9 touchdowns. Albert O also had 900 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Romeo Doubs in his first season here, 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. I'd say that's pretty good production from a third receiver. I'm happy about that. Tremaine Edmonds is supposed to be up here. Is Tremaine Edmonds even up here? We don't have, that's another series. Oops. JoJo Evans, though, he's the Tremaine Edmonds of this series. He is such a freaking stud. I love JoJo. 120 tackles from this man. Unbelievable production. If he can only get some sacks or interceptions to add on to that. And it says he's an award winner. I don't know what award he's won, but he's won something. Derwin James, 104 tackles, 4 interceptions, 2 sacks. Kyle Hamilton has 96. Sauce Gardner has 81. Awesome stuff there. Sack leaders, Luke Shields has 10. We're going to have to re-sign him this offseason. I guess we could tag him again, but I don't really want to. Montez Sweat, 9.5. Dexter Lawrence had 6. Interception leaders, I'm assuming he's going to be 4. No, it's Andrew Booth with 6. Very impressive. 4 for Derwin James and Terrence Sears. Keith Barton had 2. Sauce Gardner had 2. Okay. So, we are a very good team. Well, on paper, we're a good team. In simulation, we're an all right team. But we are taking on the Green Bay Packers, who finished 9-8 in the wild card round. Can we win a playoff game in Season 6? I hope so. We do. 38-28. Big dubs. Huge dubs. Couple upgrades for the boys. Awesome to see. Even the punter gets an upgrade. And we move to the divisional round of the playoffs with the Carolina Panthers, who went 12-5. That is a little bit scary. They're probably the 1 seed. So I am terrified that we are going to lose 31-28 to the Carolina Panthers. But I didn't expect us to make any real noise in this year of the playoffs. It's only year 6. Everybody's getting better. We've got a little bit of time. We still got 4 years of simulation, so we still got some time. We got our contract extended, which is always good. You never want to get fired in one of these rebuilds. That would completely defeat the purpose of the rebuild. So we move to the Super Bowl, where it'll be, who was that, the Colts? I didn't even see, really. Was the Panthers Colts in the Super Bowl? I wasn't even paying attention. It is going to be Panthers and Colts in the Super Bowl. We're 89s across the board, so this team is growing very well. You love to see it. Andrew Booth, who had 6 interceptions on the year, goes up to a 90 overall. I'm telling you, this cornerback room is stacked. We have so many good corners. I'm happy about that. And we kept a lot of the money from last offseason, so we still have about $37 million. At least that's before we figure out like retirements and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think we have anybody old enough to retire, or that would even matter if they retired. So I don't see our money. Oh, actually, it did go up. $122 million. Okay, so we got a lot of money to work with. But we have to re-sign Luke Shields because we only franchise tagged him last year, and I would like to have him back. I don't know if interest in us has gone up at all. I hope it has, but I severely doubt that. I don't think he is going to want to come back, but we want to bring him back. We don't have any award winners. Nope. But the Panthers won the Super Bowl, so good for Carolina. Good for them. Okay, let's move to the re-sign period. Please tell me that it's just Luke Shields and that is it. Because I want to go into this free agency period with a lot of money and I want to recklessly spend it on a ton of really good players. So I hope that this free agent class is very, very deep. But we have to get through some negotiations first. So we know that Shields is going to be on here. Probably the first one that we see. No, it's Jedrick Wills and Brandon Ayuk. And then Luke Shields. And then Quinn Miners. Okay, so we're paying just about as many people as we were paying last year. And then the season after, we're going to have to pay the quarterback. So it's not good. Isaiah Simmons, I don't even think is worth bringing back, though. But Luke Shields' interest is more, so that's good. Okay, so who do we prioritize first? Let's get Jedrick Wills out of the way. Let's pay him. If we offer him a 4-year deal, $9 million, 10.5, he should accept. He is. He's coming back. We've got our left tackle for probably the rest of the rebuild. Brandon Ayuk, probably want to bring back. Let's offer him $6 million. He should accept that. Next season is going to be great. So he's coming back. Then we got Luke Shields, whose interest is a little bit higher. So that's awesome. He likes our scheme, which is good. So let's see if we can get him enticed to come back here. Paying him a lot of money, but he says he's coming back. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We have $79 million, and we are just storming through these guys. Definitely want to get Terrence Sears locked down, who is now up to X Factor, by the way. That's sick. Good for him. You love to see it. Definitely want to lock him up, and he's locked up for the rest of the rebuild. Beautiful. Cam Dantzler is also a guy that I want to bring back, so we will go and lock him up, and he should be fairly cheap. We'll get him on a 3-year deal, $3 million, $2 million bonus, and he's coming back. So that is everybody that prioritized out the way, except for Quinn Miners, obviously. There's nobody else here that I want. No, we can forget about all those guys. Yeah, everybody else can go. So we need to figure out what we want to do with Tony Pollard. Probably want to bring him back, if anything, as a backup to a replacement running back. And he's coming back. Okay. So we bring back Tony Pollard. I guess he could be a serviceable starter if we need to. But we need to save the rest of this money to pay Quinn Miners a whole heck of a lot. So let's offer him about 8.5. And we'll offer him a bonus of about 6.5. And does he say anything to that? He says yes to that. Beautiful. So we have about $44 million. Isaiah Simmons. I mean, I like Isaiah Simmons. He is 30 years old. What does he say to a 2-year deal? He's coming back. Okay, perfect. So at least, if anything, we have a backup outside linebacker. Everybody else can leave. I don't really care about them. Perfect. And we still have a good amount of money, too. So we still have about, what, 30 million or something? 37 million, around the same amount of money that we had when we went into the offseason, went into the free agency period last time. And last time we didn't have any good stuff happen. We only got Romeo Doubs, which is still insane to me that we signed or we offered those guys and they didn't accept. Crazy. But we head into the off-season signing period. Let's see if there's good players available. And there are some okay players. DeAndre Swift is probably the one that I want to go after. We don't need corner, so I can stay away from that. It's not the greatest draft class, or not the greatest free agent class. There's a really good corner here, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. DeAndre Swift is probably the guy that we should go after. DeAndre Swift fits the Kansas City style of playbook. So getting him on the team at 29 years old would probably be a good thing. So if we offer him that contract, he should be happy about that. And then Elijah Moore. Pairing him back up with Garrett Wilson could be a thing. How about we offer him about this? And we say accept. We are not even in the top of the hunt. Oops, I didn't mean to sort that. We are not even in the top of the hunt. Okay, so we will draw the offer. I will go redo that. And I will offer him more money. How's that? How's that, Elijah? Do you like that deal? We're in contention. I don't want to offer him any more than that. Marshawn's 32. We don't need a corner anyway. Backup quarterback we could do. There's Russell Wilson. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. No, there's not really a backup quarterback. We're already going after DeAndre Swift. Receivers, we're going after Elijah Moore, but there's not really anybody else here. Tight end to back up Albert O. Tommy Tremble is intriguing. 3-year deal. Lower the bonus to $3 million and see what he says to that. He's not really interested too much, but he's got no other offers, so maybe he accepts it. And I think we're going to save the rest of our money and just see if we can sign these guys. Now, last season we didn't have very good luck, but who knows? Hit the button. We're not going to get Tommy Tremble, so I'll back out on that. But did we get those guys? My signings. We got Elijah Moore and we got DeAndre Swift. Huge. That makes up for last season because we got our new running back and another receiver to pair alongside Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk. So the offense looks a lot better now with DeAndre Swift and Elijah Moore in there. And I think we'll just keep the rest of our money and ride it to the offseason or ride it to the draft. We don't have a backup quarterback, but that's okay. So now we have Tony Pollard, who, like I said, we re-signed him to be a backup running back. So then DeAndre Swift here. He'll fit very nicely in this Kansas City offense. Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore. Offense looks good with the offensive line. And then on the defensive side of things, ooh, that's right. We switched to a disguise 4-3, so now we have to play middle linebackers. And JoJo, no. JoJo had 100+ tackles, a couple tackles for loss. He did not deserve to go down to star. I will not have this JoJo disrespect. Back up to superstar, JoJo. Back up to superstar. That's what I have to say about that. So JoJo's now a superstar again, as he always should have been. Derwin James, Kyle Hamilton. I mean, we've got a good defense. The corners, like I said, are fine. Safeties are fine. Middle linebacker and outside linebacker are really the only things we need to focus on. I just hope that there are some in the draft. I don't know if there's going to be any, is the problem. There should be. There should be some good ones, or at least some serviceable ones. It's just a matter of when we pick. That's the big question. I don't know when we're going to be picking in the draft. $16 million. Simulate the next period of free agency. I feel like we came out of here with a big W, getting DeAndre Swift, getting Elijah Moore. That should boost up the offense, give Huffman a little bit more, a couple more weapons to work with alongside Garrett Wilson and Albert O and Brandon Ayuk. So we should have some more weapons there. But the big thing for season 7 is we're going to have to pay Huffman. His rookie deal's coming to an end, and we picked up his 5th-year option for this season, so we didn't have to pay him. So now next year, we're probably going to have to pay Huffman, which is a problem because he's probably going to want a good amount of money. Because he's a good player. He's a high overall. He's probably going to want a good amount of money. Oh my God, there's a generational receiver. Oh my God, 6'5". Oh my God, Telvin Grant. I don't care. We're drafting Telvin Grant. We're drafting Telvin Grant. There's a generational wide receiver and also possibly a generational corner? Oh my God. A-zone coverage has to mean generational corner, especially with the man-to-man prototype or archetype. Oh my God, this draft class looks amazing. Plus, there's a pretty good running back up here as well. What's his juke move? That'll tell me everything. He's got elites. Oh my God. Oh my God, this draft class is amazing. And then you've also got this Frank Fields guy who looks phenomenal. Wow, how do I get five first round picks? How do I get all 4 of these guys? Because these are I want them all. I want every single player on this board. I have to get the receiver in the corner. That's a guarantee. I have to get them. I have to get them. You cannot pass up on generational talent. I have to do whatever it takes to get those guys. It's going to be difficult. I don't think it'll happen, but I have to try my hardest because they are generational and I must get them. So I will throw it on Anthony Landry for sure, Justin Bullard, and we'll go on Frank Fields as well. So those will be my 3 private guys. We already know that Telvin Grant's going to be amazing, so we don't have to worry about him, scouting him any further. But let's figure out how to get these 4 first-round picks. How do we get the top 4 first-round picks in the draft? That's going to be impossible. What's the mock draft say? What does the mock draft say the order is going to be? It's going to be Telvin Grant, Frank Fields. So we have to get all 4 picks if we want to get all 4 of these guys. That's going to be literally impossible to do. Do I tear the team apart just to draft these guys? I can't, right? I can't tear the team apart just to draft these people. That's not good. Especially because they're not necessarily in positions that we absolutely need. But I have to try. What's my draft pick? Pick 27. That doesn't help. And my other pick is pick 24. Oh, baby. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult. The Eagles, I remember, have at least one of the picks. They have the first pick. What do they want? They want Derwin James or Andrew Booth and JoJo Evans. Very interesting. They want just Derwin James for the first overall pick? That's very intriguing. We don't really have the linebacker depth to replace Derwin James, but he is expensive and old. I'm intrigued by that. I'll do that. That might be a bad idea, but that is not that bad of a pickup. And now we have negative money because we just took on a huge contract, which would go to the first overall pick. But that's a pretty big trade right there. Who was the other one? I think the 49ers had a top pick. No, it was the Cardinals, I think, had a top pick. They had pick 4. Who had like pick 2? I forget. The Bills were up there, weren't they? No, they weren't up there. The Bengals. The Buccaneers, no. Cardinals, pick 4. Chargers, pick 25. 30, 31, 14, 26. I should have remembered who had the top picks. Falcons had 12. Giants have 2. Giants, okay, here we go. New York. They want my first overall pick. Why did the Eagles want Derwin James and then they want my first overall pick? So we are definitely drafting the receiver with the first overall pick. But what if I gave somebody else? What if I gave the Giants Brandon Ayuk? Okay, that doesn't really do much. But I could also throw in pick 27 because don't really think we need that. That does a little bit of work. Okay, I'm liking it. And then what else could we do? I guess I could give my first round pick next year. What about a second? It's probably going to have to be 2 firsts, isn't it? It's probably going to have to be 2 firsts. Trade offer accepted. So we got the second overall pick along with the first overall pick. So we can draft the wide receiver, Telvin Grant. I think that was his name. And we can draft the corner, who both look generational. But how do I snag the other 2 picks? How do I snag the other 2 picks right there? Because we don't really have the cap space. Who even has the other 2 picks? I need pick... Well, we know the Cardinals have pick 4. Who has pick 3? Titans have pick 5. Steelers, Seahawks, Saints, Ravens, Rams, Raiders, Patriots, Panthers, Packers, Lions. Is it the Jets? Yeah, it's the Jets. So the Jets and the Cardinals. They want my number 1 overall pick and then a second rounder next year. Unfortunately, I can't really do that. So they do need a corner, and we're going to draft one, and we have pretty good depth already. But I don't want to give up any of these guys. I would be willing to give you Connor Owens or Cam Dantzler. How about Cam Dantzler? How do you feel about that? That would put the team over the salary cap. I don't think this is going to be able to work out here. What about if I give you also Connor Owens? I don't really want to do that, but it might have to be the job. Because that offensive lineman looks amazing as well. Although we have some pretty good offensive linemen already. What about Morgan Ainge? I can't do that because it would take up the money. I mean, I could trade Jedrick Wills. I don't really want to do that, but I could trade him. And I could trade Tony Pollard, but that's not going to also do any cap space or anything. Oh, let me see if I can get any more first-round picks, 3 or 4, and I'll come back to you if I can't. Okay, so I might have screwed myself, but I traded for the 4th pick with the Arizona Cardinals. So now we have 1, 2, and 4. I traded 2 corners, Andrew Booth and Connor Owens. I know that's pretty steep to trade, but we are getting one of the corners back who looks to be generational. So I think I valued the running back more than the left tackle, who also looks, to be fair, looks really, really good. But I just, he looks so good. Frank Fields he might be a generational left tackle. Let me just make sure that this running back is, oh my God, the speed, the juke. Okay. So yeah, the left tackle looks really, really good, but the running back I think could be even better. So we're taking Telvin Grant with the first overall pick. That's just a guarantee. We are taking him with the first overall. 6'5", 97 speed, 99 jumping, 94 acceleration. He doesn't even barely fit on the screen. He's just a massive Meng. I love it. And he's generational. He's got to be generational. Absolutely generational talent. And then we have the second overall pick, and we're going to take the corner. So this replaces Connor Owens and Andrew Booth, even though I wish we didn't have to trade Andrew Booth. But Justin Bullard, welcome to the team. Oh my God, he looks amazing as well. Okay, 2 possible generational talents already on the board or already in the room. Maybe we get lucky and the Jets don't draft the left tackle. Okay, they took Frank Fields. I figured that they would. There was no reason you shouldn't take him. He looks unbelievable. But now we take the running back, Anthony Landry. Welcome home. I know we just signed DeAndre Swift, but 98 speed at running back, 92 change of direction, 93 agility, 95 acceleration. We can trade DeAndre Swift after this season, and we could get something else for DeAndre Swift because he's probably going to have a lot of value. So, oh my God. We got some craziness. I don't even really need to look at the rest of the draft class. We can just simulate. I think I'm just going to simulate the rest of the draft. I don't even need to see what else is on the board. We got 3 generational players in one draft. It may have cost me my team. May have cost me my future because we don't have a first-round pick next year. But maybe we trade DeAndre Swift for a first-round pick. Because I'm assuming this running back is going to be unbelievable. We have no money, which is not going to be good because we got to pay our quarterback. So I might have screwed myself. It's a possibility. But I couldn't pass up on 3 generational talents. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Oh my God. I just saw his overall. So first off, Telvin Grant's an 83. Justin Bullard's an 81. Anthony Landry is an 89. Oh my God. Everybody else is fine. I don't care. An 89? Are you serious? Oh my God. What is the Jets overall? What was he? He was an 81. Does he have X Factor? I'm going to be a little bit upset if he does. Because I really wanted him. Frank Fields, I really wanted him. I just couldn't figure out how to trade for him. Oh, I don't need to be in contract. What am I doing? I need to be an edit player. I really, really wanted him. I just could not. The way with the money that we didn't have any money. We had negative money, and I didn't have any other assets to trade away. I couldn't make it work. I tried. Trust me, I tried. Does he have X Factor as a line? Oh, he has Superstar as an offensive lineman. That's got to be generational for an offensive lineman. I really wanted him. I really wanted him. But we got some absolute studs. How good was this draft class as a whole, though? So we got the 3 top players plus Fields, but there was also an 81 strong safety and 81 quarterback. Wow. This draft class was amazing. Is this guy 81 quarterback? Dudley Fry? Rookie from Youngstown State. That makes no sense, but is he X Factor? Is he generational as well? Superstar X Factor quarterback, Dudley Fry. That's pretty crazy. This was an amazing draft class. This was a freaking amazing draft class. But now I'm worried because we go into season 7 and we have a contract looming. A big contract, our quarterback. So maybe my desire to get those players in this year's draft, in this past draft, maybe it'll come back to bite me in the end. That is a possibility, but we have a freaking generational running back. We have a generational receiver. We have a generational corner. And even a tight end who has hidden development that I didn't even notice. So that's awesome. I really wanted that left tackle. We could have put him at right tackle and we would have been awesome. I mean, that offensive line would have been phenomenal if we would have got him. But it's okay because we're going to trade DeAndre Swift probably. We can get something back for him. Oh, what a crazy offseason that was. So now we head into season 7. I will see you guys at the playoffs, and I really hope that it doesn't come back to bite me. We've made it to the end of year number 7. We make the playoffs at 10-7, so that's a good thing that we're making the playoffs. I like the consistency. I like where we're headed. I think that in a few seasons, hopefully we can take that next step and win a Super Bowl. That's the goal. 4,900 yards, 45 touchdowns, 19 interceptions for Scott Huffman. That's a fine season. Good yardage numbers, good touchdowns. I'd like to see the interceptions go down a little bit, but other than that, it's a very good season for him. Rushing, we didn't really have any rushing. That's probably due to our playbook that we're in. DeAndre Swift didn't really do much. That's okay. Not a big deal. Receiving is really where we are going to make our difference. Garrett Wilson had 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns. Telvin Grant, the rookie, had 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns as a rookie. That's amazing. And then Elijah Moore had 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. So the receiving numbers are where we're going to be making our big bucks as an offense. Defensively, 126 tackles from Isaiah Simmons. No surprise there. Kyle Hamilton had 102. A little bit of surprise there. 81 for JoJo Evans. So JoJo Evans, for the first time since he's been in the league, has not gotten over 100 tackles. Pretty crazy. And then Barry Gary, 20 tackles for loss for him. Sack leader is Luke Shields with 10.5. Barry Gary has 8. Lawrence has 7. So does Montez Sweat. Interception leaders, I see 4 for Isaiah Simmons, and that is the lead. Sauce Gardner had 3. Keith Barton had 3. Hamilton had 2. Okay. So let's see if we can take down the Green Bay Packers, the rivals. We hate the Packers. Let's see if we can take them down. On paper, we're the better team, but does that matter in simulation? I guess we'll find out. We were both 10-7, but we got the division win. And we do beat them in the playoffs. We take on the 49ers in the divisional. That's a huge win for the Chicago Bears organization, beating the Packers in the playoffs. That's a big, big time victory. But can we do it against the Niners? Let's see if we can. They've got a good offense, but not a great defense. What's going to happen here? Come on, Chicago. The Bears win the game 34-24, and we're headed to the NFC title game against the New York Football Giants. Oh, baby. It's getting real here in Chicago. Let's see if we can take them down. We're hosting the playoff game because the Giants were also 10-7. So this playoff run has kind of worked out in our favor. But is it going to work out to get us to the Super Bowl? And it does. We win 38-35. We are playing in our first ever Super Bowl of this zero overall rebuild. And remember, I guess we don't even have to go any more seasons if I win the Super Bowl, because remember, this rebuild was just to win a Super Bowl. It wasn't, I didn't try to go 5 years. I was just going to try to sorry, I'm distracted for a second here. I was just going to try to go as long as I could, and it just so happened that it was 5 years that I couldn't get it done. And then we end up not being able to do it, and I said we were going to come back for another season, and that's where we are right now. But we're playing the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. I mean, if we could win this Super Bowl, then the video would probably be over because we had completed the rebuild. We have completed the rebuild of a zero overall team to win a Super Bowl. So you know what? Let's jump in, simulate, see if we can win this game. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's Super Bowl time. We're down 7-0. That's not a good start. We're down 14-0. Okay, things are getting a little bit out of hand here. I might have to jump in and try to help us. Okay, we turned the ball over again. That's not a good sign. Okay, we got a point. We got points on there. I'm trying to keep this so that we can try to recover some sort of victory. Okay, we tied it back up. We've changed it around, 21-14. What is this offense doing in the defense? Okay, we're tied back up. Things are getting a little bit out of hand here. I think I'm going to jump in 21-28. Remember, we got to win this Super Bowl so that the video can end and the rebuild of a zero overall team can be over and more with a huge catch in traffic. Contested brings it in. We're going to snap this off and hand it to DeAndre Swift. And DeAndre Swift's got some space. Touchdown, Chicago Bears. The Bears win that one on that drive with a huge DeAndre Swift touchdown. You love to see it. But can the defense hold it? Yes, we do. No, we give it back. Okay. So the Browns came back there. They did a good job. They scored. I don't like that. This is getting a little bit crazy here. 35-28. I'm going to throw that to Moore. He's going to catch it, and I thought he was going to break that tackle for a second. I thought we were about to get a little bit crazy, but Rondale holds on there. That's not Rondale, is it? We don't have Rondale Moore. I think I'm getting my rebuilds mixed up. Who is that? Who's the Moore? Is it Rondale? No, it's Elijah Moore. Why did I think it was Rondale? I'm getting my rebuilds mixed up. I got the zero overall rebuilds going, and I got the 10-year rebuilds going. But there is Grant, the rookie, who is just a freaking stud. Although we capitalized on them playing very deep in coverage, and I'm gonna have to get sacked here because I screwed that up. Didn't really like anything there. That's my fault. Didn't really like anything, but we've got Wilson, we've got Moore, we've got Grant. I'm probably going to go to Moore here. And Elijah Moore, big time catch as we get to the 24-yard line right before the 2-minute warning. We are by no means done in this game just yet. I'm going to actually go with this, but then I'm going to adjust to a running play because I feel like DeAndre Swift can get this job done for the first down. And DeAndre is denied 4th and inches. I knew they were going to call that 4th and inches, man. I absolutely knew it. But we need to go for this. And you know what we need to do? We need to go for something that I haven't called in a while. We need to go, if I can find it, we need to go for the juice special. The absolute goated play. Snap it. Huffman delivers on the juice special. No, he didn't! Oh my God, you cannot be serious right now. I've got to challenge that. I can't challenge it. The referee calls the challenges. How can you tell me he's not across the line? We are right down the line. We are on the first down marker. This is where the line is. You can see it just peeking out through the gap there. And Huffman is clearly knees down, ball across, and they don't call it. We might have just got cheated out of a Super Bowl victory, or at least a chance to win a Super Bowl, because they didn't call it. I am beside myself here. They really just did that to us. We lost the Super Bowl because of that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been cheated like that out of a championship. Or the chance to continue to fight for a championship. Oh my God. I don't know how to recover after that. We just lost in the Super Bowl because of a play that was a first down that they didn't call. Wow. I'm at a loss for words, honestly. I'm not making this up for the camera or anything. I'm genuinely confused and shocked at that result. The fact that we lost the Super Bowl on a QB sneak that was, Telvin Grant wins Rookie of the Year, by the way, that was a first down, but they called it a turnover. And the fact that we couldn't challenge it is even worse. I'm genuinely heartbroken and genuinely shocked and stunned at what I just saw. I've been cheated out of wins. I've been shafted by the CPU plenty of times over in Madden, but that one hits a little bit differently. I don't know, it just feels like it feels like the rebuild should be over. It feels like we just won we should have just won the Super Bowl, but we didn't get the call. I am absolutely utterly stunned, and we can't even re-sign our quarterback, Scott Huffman. So that's not a good sign. Can we bring back Sauce Gardner? Is that a possibility? Sauce also doesn't want to be here. So am I going to have to overpay for Sauce? I may have to franchise tag Huffman. Or we could trade him for another quarterback, I guess. We got Sauce back. We have $19 million. That's not going to be enough to bring back Huffman. But if we can bring back Morgan Ainge as well, then I would be happy about that. He also doesn't want to be here. What about if I offer him, like, this much money? What does he say to that? He's coming back, too. So we're probably going to have to spend this last $11 million to franchise tag Scott Huffman. It's $43 million. Oh my God. $43 million to tag Scott Huffman. What's his cap hit and all that kind of stuff? I need to see his cap hit. So Scott Huffman, his penalty is 0, which is intriguing. I think we just trade Huffman for another quarterback and we move on. Man, I am just at a loss for any sort of words. I have no idea what just happened or what just went down. What's our draft pick, by the way? We have no first round pick. That's right, because I traded it to get Grant. This offseason, probably not going to be a lot of it. I'm probably not going to show you a lot of it. But quarterback, we got to trade Huffman for another quarterback. Is it Josh Allen at 33 years old? Probably not. It's not Deshaun Watson, even though he's now a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Is it Paul Spencer? That could be something. Although he's only star development. He's had some pretty good seasons. His contract is 3 more seasons. He's had some good years. His best year was a couple of seasons ago. So we know he's got the potential to be something good. He's on the list. Jerry Pryor could be interesting. Who else? Not Dudley Fry. Justin Herbert's a little bit older. Warren Holly could be interesting. Jake Taylor. What's Jake Taylor's contract look like? He's also just star development as well. He hasn't had great seasons, but he's under contract for a while. I think I like the Falcons quarterback a little bit better. Right, that's who it was? He was the Falcons quarterback? I'm pretty sure. He had potential to be a little bit better than anybody else. Who's this guy? Calvin Gallimore? I feel like I remember him. X Factor quarterback. Oh, he's had some good seasons. And he's under contract for a while. They just offered it. I think they just re-signed him. What about this? This is going to be pretty difficult to try to pull off. But he could be the difference maker. He really could be the difference maker. What about 2 second-round picks? No, but what about the first-round pick from next season? I know it's only valued at 25th, but it could help. It doesn't. I think it's going to take another player that they want. Middle linebackers, we have JoJo Evans, but nobody else that they would want. Nobody at left outside linebacker. Isaiah Simmons they don't want. D-tackle, we have Dexter Lawrence and Barry Gary. Dexter is starting to get a little bit older. What about if I just take this out and see... Okay, the trade packages for him are non-existent because we would go into negative money. I really wish they would just take it straight up, but I think that Gallimore is off the table. I don't think that we're going to have the assets to be able to get him. What about Russell Knight, though? What about Russell Knight? He should be just re-signing a new contract. Yeah, he did. He just re-signed for a new contract. Russell Knight could be interesting. He's already got 17,000 passing yards. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. They also would take a D-tackle in Dexter Lawrence. Oh, that actually went down. Okay. I didn't think Dexter Lawrence would bring the value down, but maybe they don't want him because he's a little bit older. I can see that. What about my second-round pick this year? Trade declined. Is it going to take the first-round pick? It might. Huffman and the first-round pick next year. Trade decline, but now if I throw the second this year, does that get it done? Or is it going to take 2 firsts? I really hope it doesn't take 2 firsts. It's probably going to take 2 firsts. I don't think I can do that. Mainly because I don't have 2 firsts. What about corner? We have a lot of depth at corner. Do you want Cam Dantzler? That's probably not going to do much. Did a little bit more than I thought it would. I don't want to give you Justin Bullard or Keith Barden or Sauce Gardner, so I can't give you any of those guys. Left guard. I don't have anybody they want. Receiver. I'm not going to give you Telvin Grant. I'm not going to give you Garrett Wilson. I could give you Romeo Dobbs. It's not going to do it. I don't think it's going to happen for this guy. I really want it to, though. I really, really do. Next thing I can do is Dexter Lawrence, but last time I threw him in there, it took it down, and it still takes it down. Knight's not going to be on the table. Russell Knight's just not a possibility. I just don't have the assets to get somebody like that. But maybe I have the assets to get Charlie Valentine. Is it possible to get this guy? What's his contract situation looking like? He's only got 2 years left. I'd probably want to stay away from him. Eddie Stanley. He's also an X Factor just like Gallimore. What's his contract? His contract's 3 years. All right. Huffman's the better player in terms of overall, and it goes through straight up, so we don't have to give up any picks. We don't do anything like that. We go down 2 overalls, but we get an X Factor quarterback. I guess he could be the difference maker. I don't know. I hope so. I hope he is the difference maker that we needed. And that is everybody that I wanted to sign, yes. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick peek at the free agency. We have $6 million, but I don't see us spending it. And then I'm probably just going to see you guys all the way at the next playoffs, because we don't really have anything to do in the draft. We have a second-round pick, so it's not really that interesting, and there's probably not going to be anybody that great in the class anyway. So I think we just let the CPU handle it. But is there anybody that is amazing in free agency? There's a couple interesting players, like this right tackle, but we'd have to severely overpay him, and we don't have the money to do that. Rashawn Gary, I would like. He wants to be here, but we just can't afford him, especially when we're trying to outbid 21 other teams. So I think I'm just going to move on and hold on to what we have, and maybe we can make another run in year 8 for the Super Bowl. But I will see you guys all the way at the next playoffs, unless something happens and I bring you back in, but most likely it'll be the next playoffs. We make it to the end of the year 8 season. We're in the playoffs. We're at the playoffs. We are not a part of them. We finished 9-8, didn't win the division, didn't make a playoff spot. So we go from playing in the Super Bowl to the very next season not making the playoffs. Did finish at above 500, but very, very, very frustrated. I feel like that was our chance. That was our chance to win the season, or win the Super Bowl, and end the video was that chance right there last season. But whatever. Eddie Stanley, our new quarterback, 5,000 yards, very good. 43 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, very good season from him. Running, Anthony Landry did okay. DeAndre Swift did okay. You love to see it. Telvin Grant, I told you he was going to be a stud. 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson with 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Albert O also had 981 yards and 11 touchdowns. And Elijah Moore had 862 and 5 touchdowns. Very good season from the receivers. Defensively, 132 tackles from Isaiah Simmons, 119 from JoJo Evans. Kyle Hamilton, 101. Very good numbers from some of the defensive guys, some of the top names. Barry Gary had 12.5 sacks. Montez Sweat, 7.5. Luke Shields, 6.5. Dexter Lawrence had 6. Interceptions, we had 3 from Kyle Hamilton, 1. So we didn't really intercept the ball very much. That's kind of interesting. But since we didn't make the playoffs, we got nothing to do. So I will see you guys at the signing period, or I guess at the staff period, so we can go over the season recap and find out who won the Super Bowl and all that good stuff. So the Vikings end up winning the Super Bowl by 1 point over the Bills. They just couldn't get it done. And the Vikings are in our division, obviously. So that's kind of upsetting. There are no awards for the Bears. And the Vikings actually had the MVP quarterback as well of the league. Very interesting stuff from the Vikings. They seem to be a big-time threat. We've got $73 million. I've built this team to a 90 overall from a 0. So I'm just a little bit upset, I guess you could say. I'm just a little bit upset that we had a chance to end the season, end the series, end the video, and end the rebuild from a 0 overall to a champion, and we just couldn't beat the Browns. That's kind of upsetting. We missed our opportunity, and it's not that we just lost, it's that we lost in the way that we did, where we got cheated out of a call on 4th and inches on clearly a play where we did pass the first down marker, but I need to stop complaining about it because I'm never going to get over it if I keep complaining about it. But I definitely need to bring back Keith Barden, even though we only have 2 years left. We're going to sign him on a 4-year contract, and he's going to test free agency. Come on, Keith. Why do this to me? God, I hate people. I hate people. Garrett Wilson coming back. Oh, looks like we're going to franchise tag Keith Barden, but I got to make sure that we re-sign everybody else that I want to bring back. So Eli Heck is also going to come back. Awesome. Who else needs to come back? Definitely Barry Gary at Superstar X Factor now. Luckily, he really wants to be here, so that's promising. He's going to come back. We locked him up for the rest of the episode or the video. Probably should try to re-sign Tremont Murray as well. Isaiah Simmons we're not going to bring back. Braden Mann, I don't really need another punter. They can just sign some random punter, I guess. We don't really need to sign anybody. But Tremont Murray, we can offer a contract to bring back. And then I think we will franchise tag, because Montez Sweat's probably a little bit too expensive and he's older. $21 million for Keith Barden. We will franchise tag him and make sure that he is returning to the team. And with $4 million, I think we can just let everybody else walk. I think we're going to let Montez Sweat walk as well. We just don't have the money. I will take a peek at free agency, but again, we probably don't have the money to do anything with it, with free agency. So it's probably going to be another season where we just ride it out and hope that season 9 is better and we make it back to the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, how can you not be in the Super Bowl when you're a 90 overall team with a 93 offense? We have a good quarterback. Another receiver, but we don't really need another receiver. We have 3 pretty good ones. And this free agency class is just not really that good, so I'm glad we don't have a ton of money. So I guess I'll see you guys at the draft. We'll draft with our first round pick, and then I'll probably sim the rest, and then we'll go to season 9. We're here at the draft. I have no idea who's in this class, but we pick at pick 18, so we will spend our pick and maybe draft somebody who's good. I don't know, and then we'll simulate the rest of the draft, see the recap, and we'll go to the next the playoffs of year number 9. But I just don't think we're gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't think we're gonna complete this 0 overall rebuild challenge. That year where we were in the Super Bowl, year number 7, it was the year. It was the chance that we had. And I think we'll just take Brian Stockton. He's got elite strength, hidden development. Okay, that's pretty good. Good for Brian Stockton. I just think that was the chance. That was the moment that we were going to need to do it. We didn't accomplish our goal. And then the very next season, year number 8, we didn't make the playoffs. So we go to year number 9. I don't know what to say, man. We've got another year under our belt with our quarterback, so hopefully that will help us out. Let's just take a quick peek at the draft recap. We've actually dipped underneath to an 89 overall. That's not good. The left outside linebacker is a 74. All right, that's not crazy bad. I can live with that. Was there anybody good in this class? There was not. 77 is the highest overall. Not anything special. So I will see you guys at the start of, or actually, excuse me, just choked on something. I will see you guys at the playoffs of year number 9, where hopefully we are involved in them, and hopefully we can ride some momentum and win a Super Bowl, because I really, really want to. We've made it to the year 9 postseason, and we're back in it. We are back in the playoffs at 10-7. This division actually was really, really good. We finished third in the division and still made the playoffs. The Lions finished 11-6 above us, and then the Vikings, who won the Super Bowl last year, finished again at 12-5, just like they did last year, and won the division. So 3 teams in this division made the playoffs. A crazy tough division. I'm just glad that we were a part of it, and we were one of the teams that made the playoffs in the division. So let's take a look at our numbers here. In year number 9, Eddie Stanley, 5,200 yards, 44 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. The production that we're getting from Eddie Stanley is right there where I wanted it to be when we traded away Huffman, so I'm happy with how he's been playing. Running-wise, the playbook that we're in is just not allowing for us to be a running team, but Anthony Landry's still getting some good touches and all kinds of good stuff. Telvin Grant's the real deal, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Redmond actually has 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns, and Albert O has 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. Elijah Moore with 841 and 10 touchdowns, and Garrett Wilson had 7 catches. Okay, I didn't mean to back out there, but that is quite the season for Garrett Wilson. Whatever. I don't know why he didn't play. Maybe he got hurt for most of the season. I have no idea. I thought I had injuries off, though. JoJo Evans returns to his form. 128 tackles, 5 tackles for loss. That's where I expect him to be. Daryl Moore, 116 tackles. Kyle Hamilton keeps putting up like 85-plus tackles every single season. He's dominating with 91. Terrence Sears has a good year. Stockton, actually, the rookie, has 16 tackles for loss and 81 tackles. Very good season from the rookie. 18th overall pick, I think it was. Barry Gary leads the team with 14.5 sacks. Luke Shields has 10. Stockton has 7. So Stockton ends up being a stud. He might even go up a development trait from what he would have been, which is probably star. I didn't check. Keith Barton had 4 interceptions, so we're going to have to bring him back. I really want to. Although we only have 1 more season to go, so I guess it's not the end of the world if we don't bring him back. But I do want to. We need to win the Super Bowl this year. That's the goal. Win the bowl. But we got to get past the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card, super wild card weekend. Let's do it. Win the wild card game. Let's ride the magic rainbow. And we lose in the first round. Yep, that seems about right. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, we had that chance. We played in the Super Bowl against the Browns, and we lost it. That was our chance to end the episode, to end the video. That was our chance. That was our chance to win the rebuild, complete it, do all that good stuff. But instead, we're sitting here at the end of year 9, out of the playoffs of the wild card, with 1 more season to go. And there's not going to be a part 3. I'm not going to continue this. It's all or nothing in year 10. It is all or nothing. And I don't even really know what we can do because we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves into having no money. So it's not like I can just go out there and trade for all the best players and sign all the best players in free agency and all that kind of stuff. We don't really have the assets or the money to do that. So we just kind of have to ride the team that we've built. And I feel like it's a good team. I'm not disappointed in the team that I've built. I feel like I've built a very, very good team. Quarterback, I could have done a little bit better job on, but we've kind of had a revolving door at quarterback, and it seems like we've ended up with a very good quarterback in, I forget his name, that's not good, but he seems to be a pretty good quarterback, but we're just not winning games, enough games. Maybe I should change playbooks for the final season. I mean, we got nothing else to lose. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing, baby. Steelers win the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. So, Tyrone Walker D-tackle wins the MVP for the Steelers. We get Brian Stockton wins Rookie of the Year, so no doubt he's going to go up a development trade no matter what he already was. And Charlie Valentine, a guy that we tried to trade for or thought about trading for, wins MVP of the league for the Seahawks. But I want to see what Stockton's development trade is now. Is he up to like X Factor? Did we draft him at Superstar and now he's an X Factor? That'd be sick. I don't think that's the case. I'm assuming he's going to be star, or he's going to be superstar now. Stanley's an X Factor. Landry's an X Factor at 99. Grant's an X Factor. I mean, the offense is good. I don't see a problem with the offense. On defense, Stockton is a superstar, so I'm guessing he was a star when we drafted him, and now he's a superstar because he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. But we have an X Factor safety. We have 2 X Factor corners. We have an X Factor D tackle. We have 2 superstar linemen, or rushers, I guess, edge rushers, and then we have a middle linebacker who's a star and a safety who's a star. So the team is not bad. I'm happy with how we've turned this from a 0 overall team to a 90 overall team. It's just we're not getting the success in terms of winning Super Bowls and games in general as I thought we probably would and maybe should. But we've got one final off season to go all in. We got to go all in for it. Players that are ready to negotiate. We know that we have the corner, Barden, because we tagged him. Does he want to be here? He doesn't. That makes it even harder. Kyle Hamilton also should come back. But good news is, it looks like they also brought back Braden Mann, but now he's on contract again. Good news is, it's just these two guys, really. I mean, maybe Dwight Gregory, but not really. Do we have enough money to bring them both back? We don't even have enough money to bring back Barden. Looks like we're going to have to tag Barden one more season because we have enough money to offer him a contract. But we're going to have to, he's not going to accept this. Yeah, we're going to tag Barden, trade Kyle Hamilton, and move along. Franchise tag Keith Barden, $21 million again. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring him back, but he just didn't want to be here. I could have probably looked into what he wanted and maybe adjusted to make sure that it could bump it up, but I don't care that much. Maybe if I wasn't as depressed as I am, I might have looked into that, but I'm tired of it. I wish we shouldn't even be in this spot. We should have already won a Super Bowl and the video would be over. But we were cheated out of a Super Bowl victory, and now we got to trade Kyle Hamilton. We got to get a safety back in return, so who do we trade Kyle Hamilton for? Quay Walker, no. Although him and JoJo Evans would probably be a pretty good pair. We've got to trade him for a safety, so let's go figure out who we're trading him for. Khalil Ward? Sure. Don't even freaking care. Trade declined, but I can offer you the world. So I will offer you a second-round pick this year. That is declined somehow. I have no idea how that was declined. It literally had to be on the edge. There's no way that was declined. But that is offer accepted. So Kyle Hamilton leaves. We bring in another strong safety who's better than Kyle Hamilton, at least in terms of overall. I don't know what his contract situation is, but it doesn't matter because we don't have to re-sign anybody because that's the final year. Next year's the final year. So let's just take a look at what his development trait is because I didn't even take a look at that. So what is his development trait? He is just a star. Fine. Perfect. He's a higher overall than Kyle Hamilton. He'll be fine for what we need him to do next season. Although, hold on. I am curious. Is he up for contract this year? Because that would be really bad. Okay, good. If I would have traded for a guy who was expiring and going to be a free agent, I would have been so mad. Even more mad than I already am. But since we don't have any money and the draft pick is probably not going to be too valuable, I will simulate to draft recap and we'll take a look at who the CPU does, but then we'll get ready for the final season. So the CPU ends up drafting a 73 overall outside linebacker from Washington. I honestly don't care. Looks like the first overall pick was a corner, 79 overall, and he is the best player in the class. So it's an okay class, a couple 78s, 79s. Good enough, but we don't really care because we only care about one thing, and that is winning the Super Bowl in year number 10. The final season is upon us. And I just got this bad feeling that we're not going to win a Super Bowl. I've taken this team so far. We went from a 0 overall to playing in the Super Bowl and being a 90, and we just are, it's just not going to happen. I'll see you guys in the playoffs, but don't get your hopes up. We wrap up season 10 and we've made the playoffs. And not only did we make the playoffs, we won the division, finished 12-5, and had the best record in the NFC, and we're the 1 seed. That is unreal turnaround from this Chicago Bears team. I'm so happy. Now, the numbers from Eddie Stanley didn't really reflect how great we played it, because he was throwing over 5,000 yards the past couple of seasons, but this one 4,600, 42 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I guess if it's a little bit lower, it's not that bad. And remember, I didn't even change the playbook, so this is just Anthony Landry being an absolute stud. 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. What an amazing player. I'm so happy we drafted him. 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns for Elijah Moore. Telvin Grant, 948. It certainly looks like we changed the playbook, but I trust me, I didn't change it from whatever we were in. I don't know why we playing so well and why some of the numbers are a little bit different, but JoJo Evans once again has a great year. Daryl Moore has another good year. Khalil Ward, the replacement for Kyle Hamilton, has a good season. Barry Gary, 20 sacks, 24 tackles for loss. What a freaking stud he was. We've drafted so many good players in this 0 overall rebuild. I'm so happy about it. Luke Shields, 13.5 sacks for him, 9.5 for Stockton, coming off his Rookie of the Year campaign. 16 tackles for loss, 71 tackles. Very good season. Around what he did last year. He's a very productive player. Sauce Gardner led the team with 3 interceptions. A couple guys had 1. And that's where the numbers lie for the final season. But can we do it? We said all or nothing. And it truly is now. It truly is all or nothing. For a chance to play in the NFC title game, going up against the Panthers, please, baby Jesus. We win 31-15. We're taking on Tampa Bay, who just played in the Super Bowl last season. They lost to the Steelers, but they were there. A trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Oh, baby. A trip to the Super Bowl on the line. And we lost. Tampa beats us. They will play in back-to-back Super Bowls. We failed. We failed the rebuild. It took 10 seasons. We played in 1 Super Bowl and lost it. Now, there could be some controversy. Maybe we should have won it. Maybe we deserved to win it. I certainly believe that. But we didn't. "10 years. And nothing to show for it. We have a ton of money, by the way. Jaguars win the Super Bowl, so the Bucs lose back-to-back. That's got to be heartbreaking. Worse than what I'm going through right now. At least they played in 2 Super Bowls back-to-back. But that's it for the video. I'm not going to be doing a part 3. But I took a 0 overall team, turned them into a 90 overall team, I think at our highest. Maybe a high 90. I don't remember exactly where we were. And then played in 1 Super Bowl, lost it. We drafted some fun players in this series. We drafted Telvin Grant, who turns out to be a 97 overall, generational type player. We drafted Landry, who's a generational running back. Anthony Landry, what a stud he was. So happy to have him. One of my best probably the best running back draft pick I've ever taken in a series. We had some fun players in this one. A lot of good offensive linemen. JoJo Evans was a 7th round pick that the CPU drafted. He turned out to be an absolute stud. Stockton's an X factor now. We took him just on a whim. I didn't even really scout anything. Barry Gary ends up being an X factor. He was amazing. Barden was amazing. Bullard was amazing. Sears at one point was an X factor. So I can't say that we didn't have a lot of fun and we didn't have very good players in this 0 overall rebuild. We just didn't get it done when it mattered the most. But that's going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe I'll do this again in Madden 24. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But if you did enjoy it, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.